Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the manga new releases for November 2025. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House. The titles that you'll see today are those books from publishers that we represent. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels. So definitely check us out. And the way we do these, if you're new to us, is we'll start with our personal picks. We'll move forward with volume ones and one shots. We'll highlight some other titles like art books and so forth that is coming out in November. And of course, we'll leave you with the rest of the list that you don't want to miss out on for continuing volumes. And so, with that, we'll go ahead and get started on the first pick, which is actually mine. So,
Yeah.
this is really cool. This is Clamp, the official art book, Color Shiro. To explain this, essentially, actually, let's go back. Clamp first started in 1989 with RG Veda, and since then, Clamp as a name has revolutionized nearly like every genre that's out
Mm.
there. And so, what sets them apart is the consistency of their creativity, their visual art for sure. And last year, fans in Japan got a chance to celebrate Clamp with an exhibition at the National Art Center in Tokyo, which I'm sad about because I wasn't able to go. But that would have been amazing to go to. But for fans who didn't get to go, as part of this meticulous process of curating and restoring Clamp's art for the exhibition, coming out of the expedition were two premium art books that were produced. The art books were Shiro and Kuro. So now fans worldwide, some of which who weren't able to get a chance to go to the exhibit in Japan, now has a chance to sample the magic of the event with this English edition of Color Shiro. And so this not only draws it not only draws upon manga and anime, but like other rarities such as like magazine bonuses, video games, for instance, a telephone card, and other official merchandise and communications included in here in this official art book. So this will feature like series such as Subasa, Reservoir, Chronicle, of course, very well-known card captor Sakura, and Magic Knight, Rayarth, XXX Holic, Clover, and many more. Tokyo Babylon, for instance. So I'm just naming a few that will, and also included in this collection is like details about the exhibition and so forth for this art book. So really cool. I'm really excited for this to come out, and yes, of course, coming out in November.
Very good. And my first pick for this month is The Drops of God #1. This is by Tadashi Aki and illustrated by Shu Okimoto. This is, of course, the original sort of uh, the story, the manga that inspired a live action series that streamed on Apple TV Plus last year. I don't know if there's going to be a second season, um, but there's definitely a space for it. But it took not just, I mean, this is a classic already. This is a manga that is well regarded, but the TV live action also was very well received, even won an International Emmy Award. Um, and to tell you just a little bit about the story, this is about this famous wine critic who, whose name is Kanzaki, and he passes away. But instead of just leaving everything to his son, which includes an amazing and very expensive collection of wines, he decides to sort of and it's for us to a son that actually has uh, he doesn't have contact with um, and decides to go sell beer instead of wine. He decides to say, okay, so you're gonna have to, in his inheritance, he says he had to do a competition with this young critic who basically idolize Kanzaki and who knows a lot about wine, and then he pits both of them against each other and tells them there are these this I forget how many wines. I think it's like 10 wines that they have to identify, and they don't know anything about it, and they have certain amount of time to do a lot of research and get ready for it. But at some point, they're not gonna be able to know or test the wine. They're just gonna, in front of the lawyers, take it step and try to identify which wine it is. So it takes you to the son sort of doing all the research and kind of learning, even though when he was growing up, his dad was training him, and then you see that too. But it kind of moves. It's very instructional as far as wines go, and how to identify it. And you might think, oh, I'm not into wines, but it's the story moves so well, and it almost moves more like a mystery kind of thing rather than than a instructional story. And there's a lot of drama, obviously, between the son, who is estranged, who for so many reasons that you get to see through the story, but also does want the inheritance, and but to do it, he has to, like, he doesn't really have the knowledge at that point, but this other person who considers himself such a fan and almost a son to Kansaki, and how he really wants it. He has the knowledge, but there's also that balance between having the knowledge but also being born into a family that grew up with wine. So the series is amazing. I haven't really read the book. I'm so excited that we're gonna publish it in English because I can't wait to read it. And in the series, they kind of change a few things, like it's not a son and it's a daughter, and a few other things, and the locations and all that. But it's I was reading on it, and it's basically the same story, and the basis of it is the same. So also watch the show. It's really really good. So can't wait for this to come out. I'm looking forward to it, and it's definitely one of those that already has a following. And I wanted to mention there's a quote from Decanter magazine, one of the premier magazines about wine. It says, arguably the most influential wine publication of the past 20 years. I mean, that says a lot. So there's a lot here, not just for you as a fan of manga or literature, but also if you're a fan of wines, or if you're not, you want to know a little bit more about it. But there's also a lot of drama. Trust me, it's a lot of drama. It's so good. There you go. Next up.
All right, the next up is Dysfunctional Family Theory. This is volume one. We have a character named Sentaro who goes to pay his respects to the family of his late ex-girlfriend, and he doesn't expect to go there and be named as a father of her child, and actually potential father is what's being brought up here. As it turns out, he and a certain person in his ex-girlfriend's past life named Toma, they both have been declared as possible dads to a young girl. And so there is a catch to this whole thing with his ex-girlfriend's will. She says that no DNA test will be conducted. Instead, the young girl would live with both of them and decide for herself who she wants to call her father. And so now the two men with a complicated past must navigated this really weird future and that is really unknown at this point. They're all under one roof, raising a child together. Rise, expected bonds are formed, and it's a question of can they make this dysfunctional family work? And what will happen because this is a boy's love. So growing feelings happen between Sentaro and Toma. And will that make things messier? Because they're supposed to be competing for the affections of this child to be the father. But you know, there's complications when they get involved romantically. So really interesting premise, cool cover. I love it. And
Yeah.
yeah, one of my picks.
Yeah, next up is Hooligans, Volume 1. This is by Ito Itani. And this is a story set in 19th century London, sort of an alternate one, sort of where there's a band or a group of miscreants, is what calls them, led by an alchemist called the Hooligans. And they are part of a, sort of a big mafia family, but they're in charge of guarding the city and sort of policing the city, making sure that everything is there's not too much crime, I guess, or that that also there's a balance between the different bands and mafia groups and the different groups out there in the city. So it's a mixture of fantasy, steampunk, sci-fi a little bit, and also a little bit of historical alternate story there. But of course, in this story, it can't be all good. Obviously, there's another group that's trying to make trouble, so they have to step in and try to keep the peace and trying to make sure that the peace that they work so hard disappear in the city. I like the quote they put in the description. It says, "A new world order is on the horizon with the hooligans leading the way." It sounds like it's going to be a very fun. I love these stories of like alternate history, and you put a little bit of magic in there. And there's seem recently seems like there's a big trend of that happening, and this is right up that alley. So there you go. I think we're going to enjoy this one for sure.
Next up, this is Tales of the 100 Monsters Next Door, Volume 1. So basically, a man's life forever altered when a late night convenience store run leads him into a yokai market. So, we have a man plagued by demons, Katagiri, and a curious yokai enthusiast known
Hmm.
as the Ghost Sensei, and his name is Harada. And they're bound by their connections to the other side. So this chronicles their eerie mysteries. It starts here. It begins in volume one. So if you're the kind of fan who loves supernatural manga series filled with ghosts, ghouls, demons, and more. This is definitely for you. It's definitely on my radar for sure. I highly recommend picking it up. Really cool cover too.
Yes, very nice. And next up is Mushishi Collector's Edition #1. This is a classic. I am really excited because another one where I have watched, the adaptation, but I haven't read it yet. And this one wasn't available for a while. And this was adapted uh, to anime, and so I can't wait to read it. And this is the story. It's a world where there are these creatures called mushi. They're sort of like spirits. They're not yokai, they're not ghosts, they're not anything like that. They're more like the embodiment of certain concepts, or it could be a concept that's tied to human emotion, or concept. It could be something that is connected to maybe uh, planet Earth or the fauna, and they just create. They go into there's a danger of if they go into your body, kind of possess you. They sort of fill you with a lot of whatever It could be whatever resentment or emotion, negative emotion they're carrying. And these stories, even though they're not, there is some action, but it's not an action-packed story. It's more of a, it feels more like slice of life with this supernatural element. And the stories, interestingly too, they all focus around this one or two characters that encounter a mushi. And sorry, I should have said. So there's the mushis, and then there's these people called the mushishi, who are sort of, they are not hunters of mushi. They're more like wranglers of mushi. So they go in and they take care of the mushi. They're not there to kill the mushi because the mushi are not really bad. They're just part of our world. It's just they're trying to wrangle them to so they don't do damage. So the stories are focused again around some of the characters that encounter the mushis and have some, interact with the mushi. Sometimes things go wrong, sometimes not so much. And then at some point in the story, the main character who's a Mushishi, he will show up, but you will still see the story through the eyes of the other character, and you see this other character sort of coming in and interacting and resolving whatever the issue is. Um, it's very beautiful. The anime was very beautiful. So can't wait to see the art of this because for the few pages that I've seen, it's also extremely beautiful, and the concepts are very interesting, all of them, and were very well thought out. And obviously, there's a lot of um, they're tied to a lot of real life things. Like I said, it feels like a life with fantasy at the same time, but it kind of the stories that kind of grab you right away. And I love the concept that main character is not really the main character of the stories. He just shows up, which is great. So can't wait for this. The first volume is going to include volume one and two. So first volume of the collector's edition is going to collect volume one and two of the original printing. So yes, this is going to be so awesome and so good. Highly recommend it already.
I feel like for like because people who are like been in the manga space have been reading for a while definitely know this title for sure because
Yeah.
it's been out of print for so long. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
any new reader, I don't know why it keeps coming into my mind, but I feel like people who like Fearin, for instance, because it's
Yes.
like a
Yes.
slice of life.
That is a very good
You know what I mean? Like
comp.
the
Yes. Because it's the tone and it's
it's the
the
tone.
atmosphere of
Yeah.
it, and it's sort of that has that. Yes, you're gonna end up with a little bit of the feeling.
We
Okay,
totally humans along the
but
way,
it's
same
more
as you
about
do
the
there.
interaction with those new
Yeah.
characters and yes, and new challenges too that show up. And they're not explosive challenges. They're not there is a few here and there where they're a little bit of action, you could say, a little bit tense, but really they're not. They're more about yeah, it's more about discovering what the concept is and how humans would react in those situations. It is very much like Fearing, and fans of Fearing would love this, I
I think
think.
they would love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
like I
for
would
sure,
try like
for sure.
if you were to recommend something, this in particular to fans, I would like
Yeah,
gear them
that's an
towards
amazing
this.
comp. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
All right, and then to highlight, this is our highlights section. I did want to mention the Studio Ghibli Complete Works. This is the second edition. For those who did not pick up the first edition, so it's like a dive into history with featuring, of course, Studio Ghibli, the animation house that is very, very well known. So it'll include like an in-depth look of their 26 feature films, including the latest, The Boy and the Heron. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's been some time, so it's
Yeah.
been out for some time. And there's included in here exclusive interviews, director's commentary, behind the scenes tidbits. It's
Hmm.
for the Studio Ghibli aficionados. It's a gorgeous collection, something for, this would be good for newcomers as well that are jumping into watching these for the first time, but also for
Yeah.
like long-standing fans to have this on hand. And then we have, of course, Witch Hat Atelier is
Hmm.
so huge. And of course, there is this coloring book that's coming out in November. So for fans, this is for you. And it has 60 pages of uh, 60 coloring pages for you to enjoy. And again, for people of all ages, people who love the manga, this
Yeah.
is one to come.
Get ready for the wave because it's already really big. But
Yes.
once the anime comes out
Hmm.
sometime next year, which hasn't been, it has been confirmed that it's coming. It's just we don't have a official date yet. That it's gonna be a big wave. Everybody's gonna want anything they can grab about Witch Hat and the Atelier. So get ready for it. And then next up, we're gonna start with the volume ones and one shots that are coming in November. First up is Afterglow. It's a doctor at rock bottom finds himself engulfed with handsome Yakuza who helps erase his sorrows with a night of passion. Is this the relationship uh, just what the doctor ordered, or merely a case of lust clouded judgment? You have to read to find out. And then we continue with the Beauty's Blade Mayran Jian novel. This is Fufu Wangking. There's only one person she considers a worthy rival, the enigmatic woman who leads the demonic sect Yu Shengyan Fu Wangking Yu Shengwang. Sorry. Then Fu Wangking challenges Yu Sheyang to a duel and offers something she can't ignore, a rare medicine that might save one of her own. The price? She must stay by Fu Wang's side for 3 months. Fu Wangking sought a duel, but is she prepared to fall in love? Then we have Bowling to Love, the novel and the gladiator light novel. We have Lucianus is saved by the handsome gladiator Dominatus, triggering a series of sexy thrusts between them. Is their relationship is discovered if their relationship is discovered, their social standing could cause trouble. But when Dominatus is pitted against the gladiator flavored by the Emperor, will Dominatus emerge victorious, or will love be lost to the sands of the arena before Lucianus can bear his heart? And I just read that Netflix is going to show the whole entirety of the gladiator um, series, TV series, which is awesome. So this we're fans of that. And that series was very sexy too, like this book. And then we have Call Me Master, Teru Ichiyose, to who rose to the number one spot at his host club, is in under a year, meets a charming new host, Tezuka, who seems keen on taking the throne. There he takes Tsukasa, sorry, under his wing, only to discover that Tsukasa has plans of his own in mind for Teru. Very, very cool. So competitive host club. I like it.
All right, continuing on with one shots, we have A Curtain Call for You, Volume 1. We have a shy Sakura Akatsu who finds it very difficult to breathe in public, much less speak for herself. She makes do uh, activity in the book. So what's interesting is there's this outgoing new transfer student named Subam who gets her hands on this notebook, and the two secretly share stories that Sakura spins, but that secret proves too big to keep hidden, and so she whisks Sakura away on an entirely different type of adventure, and they start their very own drama club. And next up, we have Fox and Puppy. We have Achiro, known as Aichan, is a new editor assigned to work with his idol and novelist Akihiko. when Achi-chan finds Akihiko naked in bed with another man. How does that happen? You gotta read it. When he finds him naked with another man, Achihiko offers to sleep with Aichio, but Ai-chan's feeling for him run deeper than he realizes. Very interesting. And then we have electricity equals power. So Enlil is an outcast born without the gift, but his dream of joining the elite electrical police department keeps him going. He uncovers a horrifying truth. The powerless aren't just ignored, they're erased. And betrayed by the hero he once admired, Enlil is struck down, but death doesn't end his story. So Enlil returns, not as a hero, but as a nightmare. This sounds so cool. I want to read
Yeah, it
this like
does.
right
It
away.
does.
And then we have The Greatest Wolf of My Life, Volume 1. So one girl's dead-end life takes a turn when she gets involved with a pop idol and an old crush from her past. This is a full-colored webtoon manhwa rom-com that is finally coming to print into English.
And continuing, we have In the Twilight of Our Adolescence. This is Tanashi Yusei is a popular boy who excels in both academics and sports. Yusei has a classmate he admires, but he can't tell anyone about him. That person is Nakagawa, an inconspicuous, boy who his friends don't even seem to notice. The two become closer after a certain incident. Two boys grow close together in this slice of life BL manga that reminisces over youth, life, and love. And that title, it catches me by surprise because my favorite book ever is a Spanish book, a Puerto Rican book that is the twilight of in the twilight of adolescence. But the story is a little bit different, quite different actually. Uh, and then we have It's Just a Dream, right? Comic, Volume 1. One man answers a want ad for a part time job and winds up in a world of dreams, literally. A dreamy, supernatural boys' love comic about charming Himbo and his moody but cute boss. What's Himbo? Gee, I don't know what
Um,
Himbo is.
how do
Can
I
you
just
explain? I'll Google it later. Should I
yeah,
Google it? Can I Google it?
it's yeah, you can get Google it later.
All
I'll
right,
tell you
I'll
later.
Google it. We can talk offline. Anyways, sorry to put you on the spot. And then Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir complete manga omnibus. Yes, you get all three volumes of the best-selling Miraculous manga in a large size, all in one edition. Revisits the Paris of Marinette and Adrian and Ladybug and Cat Noir in a larger page size and an easily portable package. Includes Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir volumes 1, 2, 3, and you can tell by my tone that I'm a fan. And I'm excited about having an omnibus. There you go. And then we have The Misdeeds of an Extremely Arrogant Villain Aristocrat light novel, volume 1. And when one man is reborn into a fantasy novel as the villain doomed for disaster, he decides to take fate into his own hands. Can he rewrite his destiny, or is his meant to for ruin? An isekai adventure about changing fate for better or for worse.
Continuing on, we have Mistakenly Saving the Villain. This is the novel, volume 1. We have a medical student named Song Xingxi who dies and wakes up in a historical fantasy novel. He's tasked with rescuing the tragic protagonist, but there's just a problem here. He has no idea who the protagonist is. So instead of saving the hero, he accidentally rescues Yuhan, who wants nothing more than healing. Healing. I wonder what kind of healing that is. A very romantic embrace that you see on the cover here. that will give you a clue. Just so you know, there is also a special edition version. So it'll have inclusions in there that are really neat. So if you're gonna get it, you might as well also get the you might
Special
want to think about
edition.
getting the special edition version. And then we have Mocha the Cat and His Forever Family, Volume 1. Mocha is a male calico cat, an extremely rare combination said to bring good luck. Abandoned on the streets as a kitten, he is now spoiled by his adoptive humans who love his typical cat moods and his mischief, whether he's walking on a book they're trying to read, which happens, climbing on the curtains, or if he's just doing a big stretch. He'll put a smile on your face just like he does for his family. And then we don't have a cover image yet for this, but this is Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. But this is the deluxe edition. This is the hardcover omnibus of the light novel. So this will include volumes 1 to 3. So I don't know if I'll go into this because I think everyone knows about it already. But
Because
just
I
to
talk
say,
about and I
it's
talk about it
yeah.
almost every other video. But yes.
Yeah. But of course, this has like an anime, a manga, a spin-off series. It's everyone loves it, wants so much content from it, and now we have this like oversized deluxe hard. I'm sure fans would be excited to hear about.
I am excited. Yes,
Yes,
you're right. I
of
am excited.
course. Yeah, and then we have Thrice Married to a Saltfish novel. This is volume 1. There's also a special edition version of this as well with inclusions. So we have a physician, Lin Xingyu, who is instructed to marry Lu Wansheng. And Lu Wansheng is a sickly son of a marquis. And all hope that this union will heal the illness that plagues the young master. So the physician Lin, he quickly discovers that Lu Wansheng isn't just an ill-fated aristocrat. He has this mysterious sixth sense that could help Lin outmaneuver anyone, even royalty. So as this like feelings blossom between these new between them, this new ally, we have these dark truths that threaten to rip them apart in both sickness and in health, unfortunately.
All right. Sorry. And next up is My Cute Cousin Always Gets Her Way, Volume 1. One young man's summer vacation has him stuck out in the middle of nowhere with his adorable but bossy younger cousin. Will it be a bummer of a summer or one filled with precious memories? Next, we have My Goddess is Precious to Date 2, Volume 1. They start off as friends, total opposites who watch each other from afar, or maybe they're locked in a fierce competition. Either way, they can't stop thinking about one another. These fluttering feelings can only mean one thing: first love. Soon over these budding teenage romances that celebrate girls loving girls. And then we continue with My Noons and Midnights Are For You, Volume 1, while his VTuber persona, Mahiru, is bright and cheerful on screen, the real Mayo is gloomy and unconfident. Even his manager, Ojino, seems to see him more as Mahiru than Mario sometimes. And when Ojino takes their relationship to a new level, Maya worries that it's only because Ojino values Mahiru and wants him to continue on as his character, a sexy sadomasochistic romance incorporating the complexity of online persona and identity. And last on here, without a cover, sorry, yet, Noir Caesar presents Layers of the Decade, a decade of monsters, cars, and masterpieces. This is a decade in the making. This anniversary collection from Noir Caesar Entertainment features over 200 pages of original concept art, full color illustrations, and exclusive one shot comics just for this book. A bold celebration of BIPOC creativity in anime, manga, and comics. Part art book, part war journal. This is the raw, unfiltered journey of a black owned company slaying monsters, breaking rules, and reshaping culture. Very, very cool.
Okay, and we continue on with Mega Era Volume 1. That
Yep.
was hard for me to say. It's a highly anticipated genre-defining Omegaverse manga in English at last from the beloved author Maki Marukito, who did work on Pornographer. This comes a story steeped in secrets, lies, family drama. We have Simon, an Omega who is shunned by his husband's family for being unable to bear children. But when his father-in-law tasks him with a special favor, it pushes Saman to spin a tangled web of deception, all to keep his place in the family. And next up, we have Our Family Now and Forever, Volume 1, which is a very cute cover. We have Naguro, who once lived as a rough life as a leader of a gang, but when Hiro first met Naguro, he didn't know about the man's gang affiliation. All Hiro knew at the moment was that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with Naguro. Now, the former gang leader is a devoted father raising their adorable son alongside the man who changed his life. It's a very heartwarming family in this all new BL series. And then we have Purgatory Funnel Cakes Volume 1. It's an interesting premise because we have a baker, Margaret, and her ghostly assistant, Miro, and they make specialty cakes for the dearly departed. So each cake is custom made, tailored to the person, the individual who was lost. And so the love and the care that they put into each cake will bring comfort to both the living and the dead in this heartwarming story of love and loss. And when I first saw this next cover, I literally did not see the forefront because I'm like, oh, this is a really cute, adorable couple you see there.
What did you
And
think was there on the
I don't
floor?
know what was going. I didn't know. I actually did not see it. It was there.
Okay.
I did not see all the ropes and the and the
The whip.
cuffs and the
Yeah.
whips. Yeah. So this is Tease Me Harder, a sweet and kinky romance, volume one. A seemingly pure couple. This is what I thought. They are seemingly pure couple. Uh, but they decide to try ropes with some new bedroom play. This very steamy and also kind of cute uh, manga, and yeah, coming out in November.
For fans of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
All right, and we continue with 300 Years of Longing, Bu Jian Shangjian San Bai Nian, novel, volume 1. The banquet of the winding wine ends with one nobleman falling asleep warm in his bed. When he wakes, he's shackled as a prisoner in the northern domain of Tilspire, feared by all as an arch-fiend. And he's not the only one who's just woken up. From fan favorite Dame author Musu Lee, author of Cobra Coins, Tonkian Kashi, also available from Seven Seas. Next up is Virgin Ventures, the hilarious hijinks of erotic amateurs, Volume 1. Miki is a rookie erotic novelist who's never so much as held a woman's hand. Rico is a die-hard lingerie enthusiast with zero experience with men. Together, these two clueless virgins embark on a literary collaboration, attempting to bring the heat despite the cringe of their inexperience. Mickey fully embraces Rico's obsession with underwear, but when he makes a very hands-on request in the name of research, Rico has to wonder, can you really write what you don't know? You have to read to find out. Then we continue with the Wicked Princess and her 12 eyes, the legendary villainess, and her elite assassins. Sorry. Betrayed and framed by the Crown Prince, one woman gets a second chance to avoid death and exact her revenge in this action fantasy light novel from the author of Who Killed the Hero, and When the Monster Meat I Ate Led Me to the Throne. I love Who Killed the Hero, by the way. Um, Wimpy Demon King and Tsundere Hero. I mean, you can tell that's what this is about by the cover. When one prince seeks to defeat the Demon King, he discovers that the demon is actually a huge wimp. A boys love enemies to lovers manga with a rom-com twist.
Okay. Oh, that's
Not
it
yet, not yet,
for our
not yet.
highlights. Not yet. So we ended here. Well, actually, we will go
Not
off
ended yet.
screen. We'll
Don't
go
click
off
out.
screen. Yes. You need to continue on to see the continuing volumes that are coming out in November. But we very much enjoy doing these videos. Come back for more and check out our other videos on this channel. And yeah, thank you for watching and a comment below on what you're interested in November. So bye, everyone.
Bye.